Islamic State has seized control of at least 3 Syrian military air bases. This further solidifies its control of northern and eastern Syria. U.S. President Barack Obama has authorized surveillance flights over Syria to gain intelligence on the activities of Islamic State. Experts say the move could mark the first step towards U.S. airstrikes inside the war-torn nation. To get the latest from Syria, I'm joined now by Correspondent Alaa Ebrahim from Damascus. And Alaa, as we've just heard, the rebels have taken an air base. They've also taken 2 other military bases in northern Syria. What are you hearing in Damascus about this?
Well, first of all, the recent gains made by IS, the Islamic State, were kind of a sudden here in Damascus. The Syrian army had fought against ISIS, or the Islamic State as it calls itself right now, in previous battles, but we haven't seen this level of falling back by the Syrian army. The army command and the military officials that we've spoken with here, they're telling us that the recent gain made by the IS is because the Syrian army wanted to reallocate some of its troops and take the troops out of this airbase, which is a Tabaqa airbase, and move it into other areas. The landmark that was achieved in recent days was the fact that now the IS controls the first province in Syria completely, which is a Raqqa province. It's one out of 14 other Syrian provinces, but this is the first province that IS controls completely. Now there are considerable threats from the IS against 2 other provinces. There is Zor, where there is another military airbase. They're the only remaining airbase for the Syrian army in eastern Syria, and Hama in central Syria, a city that is crucial for the Syrian government because it connects the southern parts of the country, where the capital Damascus is, with the coastal areas, and Aleppo to the north. So upcoming days, I think we will be seeing an escalated tension, an escalated fighting between the Syrian government and the IS fighters. The Syrian government wanted to say in previous days that it is the army, it is the organization, it is the institution capable of stopping the IS, but the recent gains made by the IS and the recent setbacks that the Syrian army has sustained has made this statement not very accurate, and the Syrian army would like to turn this and prove that it is capable of facing IS despite the escalated funding that the IS is getting, because it controls now more oil fields and it has more acquired new weapons from its gains against the Iraqi army in the past months.
Okay, and Alaa, we're now hearing that the Syrian foreign minister says Syria is willing to go into an alliance with the United States and its partners, other allies, to take on IS. What are you hearing about that?
This is an opportunity for the Syrian government to tell the world, we are the people you need to speak with. We are the party capable of helping you in defeating the IS. But critics of the Syrian government are saying that the Syrian government isn't very capable of helping the American government. If the American government decides to carry out raids inside Syrian territories without the consent and the coordination with the Syrian government, what would the Syrian government do? Will they shoot down American aircrafts? We asked this question to the Syrian foreign minister yesterday, and many people asked this question yesterday, and the way he answered was very diplomatic. He said, we have aerial defense systems and a mistake could happen and these aircrafts, referring to the American aircrafts, could be shot down. But it seems highly unlikely because the Syrian aerial defense systems have been damaged severely because of continuous rebel attacks against aerial defenses in the past 3 years of the war. So in general, it's very hard to speculate if any coordination or cooperation between the Syrian government and the Americans will happen. Will the Americans deal with the government of Bashar al-Assad? It seems highly unlikely at this point, but the situation in the Middle East is changing very quickly. Who would have thought that IS would spread the way it's spreading? And again, it's a region where we're always expecting the unexpected to happen.
Okay, thanks, Alaa Ebrahim there, our correspondent in Damascus. Joining me now to